Home ownership is a big deal, y'all, not just financially, but also in regards to home maintenance. In this week's video, I'm going to go through 10 things that you need to make sure that you're doing in your home on an annual basis. Hey everyone, this is Danae Hewitt, your go-to DFW Realtor with Brico Realty Services. If this is your first time joining me, welcome, and thank you so much for sticking around. If you've been here before, thank you for sticking around as well. And if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button so you can get updated when I upload a video every Wednesday. Let's get into today's topic. It's home maintenance. When you are first owning a house, you're very excited about all the furniture that you're going to put into it, how you're going to decorate, where the furniture is going to go, all of those sorts of things. But in this video, I'm going to talk to you about why it's so important to pay attention to the systems in your house so that you can maintain the value in this investment. The first thing is to check your roof. Now, I'm not saying for you to actually get a ladder and get up there on your roof and check for everything. That is definitely a safety concern. Only do that if you're 100% comfortable with it. But here in Texas, we have shingles for our roofs. And shingles tend to wear out a lot frequently than some other roofing materials. We have a lot of roofing companies here that will get up on your roof and give you an assessment of your roof absolutely for free. A couple things to think about when a roofer knocks on your door and asks if they can get on your roof. Make sure that you have their business card and also see if they can prove to you that they are a licensed and insured company. You would never want someone who doesn't have that license and insurance underneath them up on your roof. When they're up there, make sure that they bring you some pictures of what exactly it is that they're talking about. They're probably going to talk to you about some nail holes that are in there, some loss of granulars that are on the ground. You'll probably find that here in Texas. But if they can actually lift up some of the shingles, or maybe they notice some ponding in some of the areas on their roof, then that is definitely something that you may want to think about and have your roof or the shingles replaced. The next thing to look at is your gutters. You want to make sure that you are checking to make sure that those gutters are free of leaves and branches and whatever else can fall from the trees. What my husband likes to do is when he puts up our Christmas lights on an annual basis, he likes to go through and clean out the gutters himself because he's already up on a ladder, so you might as well kill two birds with one stone. If that's not for you, then you can definitely have a company come out and clean your gutters. I've seen that be about $150, but of course it just depends on how big your house is and how many gutters they have to clean. As you're checking your gutters, you want to make sure that the downspouts that you have aren't damaged in any way. That is the opening to where the gutter and all the water falls out through. So you want to make sure that that opening is still open and it hasn't been damaged in any way. If you don't have any splash guards right where your downspout is, then I definitely would invest in that too. The third thing is to drain your water heater. I know it's not something that we think about because, hey, we've got hot water, it's all working just fine. But draining your water heater on an annual basis is a great thing to do to help maintain the longevity of it so it lasts as long as possible. The fourth thing is to have your HVAC serviced. It is a great idea, no matter how old your HVAC is to have it serviced on an annual basis. Have an HVAC tech come out and look at the filter on it, change it, clean the outside of it, and maybe they need to add some Freon to it. But an annual maintenance of this, again, will help maintain the longevity of it and keep it moving nice and great for as long as possible. The fifth thing to do is to change your filters. If there's a filter in your house in any of the appliances, change it, clean it. You've got one on your AC. You've probably got one on your dishwasher. I mean, when's the last time you actually cleaned that thing out? Good idea to do that. Anything with a filter, make sure you are routinely changing those out. So refer to your manuals on your appliances for when to change those filters. And with your AC, that filter should be replaced once every 3 months. The next thing to do is to clean out your dryer vent. If you're first moving into the home, I would make sure and clean it before you even attach your dryer to the wall. If it's been a while since you've done it, it might be a good idea to pull that back and really get in there and clean that. If it's something that you've neglected for a long time, it could be a fire hazard. So definitely check that out. The next thing to routinely do is to walk the perimeter of your home. And this can be for a wide variety of reasons. Let's talk about those gutters again. If you've got gutters, let's make sure after a hailstorm or some wind that a gutter hasn't been damaged, or trees haven't fallen or leaves fallen over onto your roof. You can also check the perimeter for any termites, any mud holes. The mud holes that termites create start right at the base of your property, and it's usually behind some bushes or some trees. So routinely check around the perimeter just to make sure you don't possibly have any termites in your house. As you're walking around, you also might be able to check part of your roof. Again, don't get on top of it, but you can see if there's been any damage lately. Another thing I like to check for is I have a brick house, and I like to make sure that I don't see any cracking in the bricks or any cracking along the mortar, because that could be a sign that there's been some shifting or some soil movement in our foundation. So overall, it's a great idea to walk the perimeter of your house on a monthly basis and just look for anything that may seem out of the ordinary or anything that might be damaged. The next thing to check for your routine home maintenance is to check your smoke detectors. You should have a smoke detector in each bedroom, in the hallways, in common areas, and even in the kitchen. On a monthly basis, just do a quick 5-minute check to make sure that all the smoke detectors are working properly in your house. If you're opening your doors and opening your windows a lot, then the next thing to check is to make sure that your weather stripping is still intact around your doors and around your windows. Weather stripping helps to keep insects or any other critters outside and not allow them to get inside your house. And it also helps to maintain your heating and your cooling costs. If you can see a little gap in that weather stripping and you can see the sunlight outside from inside your house, then that's a lot of money in your AC and your heating bill, because it's going out the door because of that little gap in the weather strippings. The last thing on this list of routine maintenance is to check your trees and check your foliage. Do you need to trim some of these things back? And that answer might be yes. If you've got a lot of big bushes around your windows and the base of your home, you definitely want to trim them back from the property, because like I said earlier, that could be a condition for wood-destroying insects. And also, when you trim back these bushes, it does make them look a whole lot better, and which goes towards great curb appeal. If you've got large trees in your yard, we have 2 large trees in our yard, and we have to get them cut back at least once a year. We want to make sure that those branches aren't big enough to get on top of our roof, because with the storms that we have here in Texas, if a branch were to fall down, we don't want that falling on top of our house. So checking to make sure that you are trimming back all of your foliage and all of your trees is a great idea to maintain your house. Thanks so much for sticking around, guys. I really appreciate your time today. If you've got another home maintenance tip that I missed, leave that in the comments below. And check out that video right there. It's a great one. We'll see you next week, everyone.